Have you ever wondered what led to the fall of Fort Washington during the American Revolutionary War? This tale of strategy and sacrifice unfolds on the backdrop of a fortified high ground, a linchpin in the control of the Hudson River. As we delve into the narrative, we'll discover how this stronghold was transformed into a battleground where the fate of an entire nation was at stake. The story of Fort Washington is one of dramatic twists and turns, of strategic blunders and heroic stands. Today, we journey back to November 16, 1776, to unravel the events of this significant battle. The Battle of Fort Washington began with the British forces under General William Howe surrounding the fort. It was the middle of November in the year 1776 when the British and Hessian forces began to strategize their attack. The British, known for their discipline and tactical prowess, were joined by hired Hessian troops, known for their ferocity in battle. Together, they formed a formidable force. Their plan was straightforward, a direct assault on the fort. They intended to overpower the American defenders with sheer numbers and unrelenting force. On the other side, the American forces, under the command of Colonel Robert Magor, were determined to hold the fort. They were severely outnumbered, yet their resolve was unwavering. Their strategy was to rely on the fort's defensive structures and their knowledge of the terrain. They hoped to use these to their advantage to counteract the enemy's superior numbers. The initial skirmishes were intense. The Americans put up a fierce resistance, repelling several British and Hessian assaults. They made use of the fort's cannons, raining down heavy fire on the advancing enemy. The British and Hessians, however, were relentless. They continued to press forward, despite the heavy American fire. Despite their best efforts, the American forces found themselves heavily outnumbered and surrounded. The situation worsened for the American forces as the British and Hessian forces advanced. It was a time of trial and tribulation, a time of courage and despair. The climax of the battle was near, and it was marked by a series of strategic errors made by the American forces that would prove costly. The American forces, under the command of Colonel Robert Magor, had been given the task of defending the fort. Despite their best efforts, they were outmaneuvered and outnumbered. The British and Hessian forces, commanded by General William Howe, displayed superior tactical acumen, exploiting the weaknesses in the American defenses. The fighting was fierce, with neither side giving an inch. The American forces fought with a bravery and determination that belied their situation. However, the superior numbers and tactics of the British and Hessian forces were too much to withstand. The American forces found themselves pushed back, their defenses crumbling under the relentless assault. Then came the moment that would forever change the course of the battle. Colonel Magor, seeing the futility of further resistance, made the difficult decision to surrender the fort. It was a devastating moment, a moment of defeat that would echo throughout the American forces. The fall of Fort Washington was a devastating blow to the American forces, resulting in a significant loss of men and morale. The once formidable fort, a symbol of American resistance, had fallen to the enemy, its defenses shattered, its men captured. It was a dark day in the annals of American history, a day of loss and defeat that would not be forgotten. The Battle of Fort Washington, a pivotal event in the American Revolutionary War, ended in a crushing defeat for the American forces. This fortress, strategically significant, was lost due to a series of missteps by the American forces. The harsh aftermath of the battle resonated deeply throughout the revolutionary ranks and beyond, highlighting the severity of war and the high price of liberty. This loss was more than just a military setback. It was a stark reminder of the challenges that lay ahead in the pursuit of independence. The fall of Fort Washington, a symbol of American resistance, marked a turning point in the Revolutionary War, underscoring the harsh realities of war and the cost of freedom.